I can recollect a lot of projects. I've been in this industry for 20 years, but one of the projects that was a milestone in my career is a Microsoft project that was built around the theme of Taj Mahal, where it was the ask of the project that it has to be such a seamless ceiling, because we were trying to get the Mughal architecture into an interior space, a challenge by itself. Whereas the client, they wanted everything that is accessible. Now that's the challenge, you have to have a seamless ceiling, plus you want something that's accessible. You have to access all the services beyond it. So I think that was quite challenging, and we managed. So we managed a hybrid solution there. That is something I still remember in terms of the ceiling solutions. I've used a lot of Knauf products in my career. In fact, the project that I was talking about, which is one of my favorite, or I would say that gave me really a challenge to push my boundaries. That is where I had used Knauf products. They're very responsive. Entire team is quite collaborative, accommodative. They understand what a designer needs, and then they get back to us with some sort of solution. So I think that's something which is what an architect needs. All of these parameters have to be, there has to be a synergy in all of these parameters. You cannot have trade-offs. Okay, so I think that is something that also keeps us, I think any architect for that matter, very motivated, because every day is a new challenge. You're talking about, while you're talking about a new technology, a new product, and then we have to also think about how sustainable that is. What are the measures that we are taking to get that product in? And then of course now the carbon footprint is also, we have to be really cautious of the fact that we are not getting some products that are highly unavailable at the moment, and we have to kind of, just for aesthetics, I think architects are not using products. I think a product has to be entirely functional, apt for that environment, and then of course it has to be aesthetically looking good. So I think that's the challenge, and that's the synergy that we're trying to bind between all of these parameters. So I personally am a very big fan of spaces that are open, have got good volume, but then it also helps the spaces to function well. I think 2 decades back it was all modular ceiling, and it was so much about acoustic performance in any space. We all evolved, and we understood that if the space has more volume, the entire look of the space is so different than the space that is a little stout. I feel ceilings have to be, it has to be extreme. Either it has to be very muted and very clean. On the other hand, we would want some ceilings that are so elemental, so strong, that what you see in that space is that ceiling talks. So I think it has to be both. One is very muted, and I think that we see in the seamless approach, and the other one which is very loud. So I think that is something a lot of architects are also imbibing in their designs today. Of course, the acoustical performance is so much of importance, because if you're in a space, you're talking and you're not able to function or work efficiently, then that space is, I would say, a failure. So giving whatever ceiling you give, the most expensive ceiling in the world, and nobody wants to go there and sit and work, then I think that's a failure. So it has to be a perfect balance between aesthetics and acoustics.